Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, so please tell me what is the meaning of chemical bond?
So it's when two or more atoms join together to form a molecular or ionic compound.
Yeah, so we can basically say it is a force, isn't it?
Yeah,
Which keeps the atoms together.
yeah.
Let's do one thing. You more focus on understanding. I have notes. I'll send you the PDF. Fine.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
So let us take the example of H2 molecule,
Yeah.
hydrogen molecule. So do you know how to write the electronic configuration?
Yeah, it's like well, for hydrogen it's just 1s1.
Yeah, 1s1. So I think you must be familiar with quantum numbers and all the principles involved in the writing configuration. What is the meaning of
Yeah.
1s? Can you tell me?
It's the first orbital. So the first shell and the first orbital in hydrogen, and the number that's above s is the number of electrons in the orbital.
Yeah, very good. So like hydrogen has only one electron, fine?
Yeah.
So another hydrogen atom, it also has one electron. So they want to attain the nearest noble gas configuration. What is the
Yeah.
nearest noble gas configuration of hydrogen? It will be
Helium.
helium, है ना? So helium
Yeah.
configuration is 1s2, and we know that the inert gases, they are stable.
Yeah.
Helium has its doublet complete, and all other noble gases octet is complete. I think you might be knowing octet doublet concept well.
Yeah.
So like hydrogen, if I show this electron like this, another hydrogen atom also has one electron. So they start sharing each other's electron so that
Yeah.
each other's doublet gets complete. Now, this force which keeps them together, we call it the chemical bond. Fine. So what is
Yeah.
chemical bond? It is basically any type of force. It may be like covalent bond. It may be ionic. In ionic, there is electrostatic attraction, which keeps the
Yeah.
ions together here, which keeps the atom together. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many type of bond is there? Ionic bond, covalent bond. In covalent bond, we will also study dative bonding.
Yeah.
What is another name of dative bond? Coordinate bond.
Yeah.
And the last one is the metallic. Okay.
Yeah.
Side by side, we also have a look at your book. Is it visible?
Yeah.
So all these points are written here. Noble gases have full outer main level. Outer main level means outer shell. They are talking about the outer shell. It's written outer main level in your book. Okay.
Yeah.
So this passage is very interesting. Have you gone through it?
No, I haven't gone through the thing in the box, but I've gone through everything else on the page.
Okay, no problem. Let us discuss it. Do you know about any idea about ionization enthalpy?
Yeah, we're learning it at the moment.
Okay.
Is the yeah.
So let us think why inert gases don't form any type of bonds. You can say, ma'am, they have a complete outer shell, like we have just discussed.
Yeah.
So before 1962, no compound of inert gas was known. In 1962, there is a scientist called Neil Bartlett.
Yeah.
He first formed a compound of the inert gas called xenon. Do you know xenon?
Yeah.
Like he was doing experiment with this compound, oxygen and platinum hexafluoride. Okay, so this compound was very well known, like it formed. Then he thought like xenon also have ionization enthalpy close to oxygen. Ionization enthalpy is basically the amount of energy required to remove one electron from an atom. Like in general idea, suppose we have
Yeah.
an atom. What is the basic structure of atom? In center there is nucleus and electrons are revolving around it. Do you know by which force electron is attracted to the nucleus?
Electrostatic.
Electrostatic. If we want to remove this electron, we have to supply some energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
To break this attraction. Then what is the amount of energy to break this attraction? That is known as ionization enthalpy. Got it?
Yeah.
So like we are changing O2 neutral, like you can see O2 neutral to O2 plus. What is the meaning of plus here? Like one electron.
It's the positive charge.
One electron has been removed from this system to become O2 positive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it means some amount of energy must be supplied to this system to attain this.
Yeah.
That energy is known as ionization enthalpy. Okay. So he thought like ionization enthalpy of O2 is close to xenon. Right? So he repeated the experiment, same experiment with the xenon and the compound platinum hexafluoride. It is a very good oxidizing agent. What is oxidizing agent? Any idea? No.
Is it? No, not really.
Okay. Do you understand this ionization enthalpy or not?
Yeah, I understand the ionization enthalpy.
Okay. So do you know what is oxidation reduction?
Yeah, it's when so oxidation is when a compound is it loses electrons and gains oxygen.
Yeah, very good. So oxidation, we can say loss of electron.
Yeah.
In electronic terms, or you can say gain of oxygen, right? And reduction is gain of electron. I am only talking about the electronic concept, right? Right now. So there is a concept called oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent, you can write this in your notebook. A substance which itself gets reduced. That substance which itself gets reduced. Can you imagine if itself it is getting reduced, it will help the others to get oxidized?
Say that again.
Like focus on this reaction. If you focus on platinum hexafluoride, it is changing from neutral to negative charge here.
Yeah.
So what is the meaning of attaining negative charge? Isn't it gain of electron?
Yeah. So it's reducing.
Itself it is getting reduced, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it is acting as oxidizing agent.
Okay.
Oxidizing agent is that which itself get reduced and helps others to get oxidized. Like you can see, it is helping oxygen to lose electron. Oxygen is losing electron there. That's why it is gaining, isn't it?
Yeah.
So isn't it like platinum hexafluoride is helping oxygen to get oxidized?
Yeah.
That's why we are saying it oxidizing agent. What is agent? Agent is a general word which helps someone, isn't it?
Yeah.
How it is helping? By reducing itself, or we can also add one more line, a substance which itself get reduced and helps others to get oxidized. That substance is known as oxidizing agent. Are you getting or not?
Yeah, I'm understanding. Yeah.
Okay. If there is any problem, please tell me frankly. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
So he got this first compound, red colored compound. This is the first compound of the inert gas. Nowadays, like you can say, very large number of compounds of xenon, fluoride, xenon, oxyfluorides are known. But at that time, no compound was known before 1962. Okay, this
Yeah.
is written in your this paragraph. You can see noble gas compounds. You will study next standard in detail noble gas compounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the interesting point written. So let us discuss ionic bonding. Okay, can you tell me ionic any idea about ionic bonding?
Yeah, it's the gain, and it's when two atoms share electron. No,
No,
wait.
not
They
share.
give or take electrons.
Yeah, give or take electrons. Fine.
Yeah.
So it always takes place between metals and non-metals.
Yeah.
So what are metals, Ayush?
But
Which-
they're
What
in
are-
group 1 and group 2 and transition metals.
Yeah. Like in general, we can say which can lose electrons.
Yeah. So they're
Metals are
positive
those,
ions.
yeah, which can lose electrons easily. Like 1, 2, or 3 electrons. It is written like up to 3. Why? Because if they have 4 valence, do you know valence electrons?
Valence, I think I've heard of it. I'm not sure though.
Like suppose I want to write the electronic configuration of sodium. What is the atomic
Yeah.
number of sodium?
Atomic number, I'm not sure. Is it? Wait,
It is 11, right?
11. Yeah.
I recommend like we should learn at least first 30 elements. Like later
First
on,
day.
whole periodic table should be remembered. Like let me write. What is the first element of the periodic table?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen, then
Yeah.
helium.
Yeah.
Here it is lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen,
Oxygen.
fluorine, neon. Here it is sodium, magnesium, then you have aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. 18, 19 is
Yeah.
potassium, then calcium. 20. But first learn these 20 at least.
Yeah.
You can note in your notebook. So sodium is at 11th number, so atomic number is 11.
Yeah. Boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium,
Aluminium,
aluminium,
silicon,
silicon,
phosphorus, P for phosphorus,
sulfur,
sulfur,
chlorine,
chlorine,
argon, and then potassium,
potassium, K for potassium,
potassium, and then what's after that?
calcium,
Calcium.
calcium, C capital, A small. First letter of a symbol element is always capital.
Yeah.
If second letter will be there, it will be small. Okay. Okay. So we have sodium. If you want to write its electronic configuration, what will be its configuration, Ayush?
So 1s2.
Yeah.
Wait, 1s2, 2s2.
Very good.
2p6.
Yeah.
And 3s1.
Very good. Very good. 3s1. 11 electrons. Fine. So there is a word called valence shell. Valence shell is that you can say outermost shell is known as valence shell. Fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if I ask you what is the outermost shell of sodium, what should be our answer?
3s1.
we will say 3. Outermost
3.
electron is, outermost shell is 3. Or you can say
Yeah.
third shell. Do you know the concept of shell, subshell, orbitals?
Yeah, I haven't heard of vittles, but I've heard of, you know, shells and subshells.
Okay. You might be knowing about quantum numbers, N, L, M, S. Is it or not? Have you
No,
studied atomic structure?
yeah, we've studied atomic structure. We've only done S, P, D, F.
Yeah, that comes in this, na? This quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, S, P, D, F, like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So there might be some difference. I'll go through that chapter. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So outermost shell is third in sodium, and the number of electrons present in the outermost shell, they are known as valence electrons. So what we can say, valence electrons present in valence shell. Electron present in valence shell.
Yeah.
So in sodium, how many valence electrons are there? 1?
Yeah,
Which
just
one?
one.
Just 1. Now see, if sodium has 1 valence electron and it wants to become stable, in like
Yeah.
in nature, every element, everything wants to become stable. And what is the
Hmm.
nearest noble gas to sodium is neon, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is the configuration of neon? If we write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, atomic number
Yeah.
is 10. I'm writing Z. Do you know Z is the symbol of atomic number?
Yeah.
Fine. So how sodium can become close to neon configuration? By losing this electron, isn't it?
Yeah.
Easiest way for sodium to become stable, or I can say to attain the nearest noble gas configuration, is by losing this 1 extra electron, 1 valence electron. Fine. Now,
Hmm.
if it loses 1 valence electron, it will become from sodium neutral to Na positive.
Yeah.
Right. So what will be the configuration of Na positive? It will be like that of neon.
Yeah.
Now it has attained positives, so we will call it as cation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let us take the example of NaCl. Actually, I'm taking example of NaCl to teach you the concept of ionic bonding in detail. It's also given in your book. Fine.
Yeah.
Now what will be the configuration of chlorine, Ayush? Atomic number
So
will be 17. You can
yeah,
count.
so it'll be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, and 3p5.
Yeah, very good. How many valence electrons are there?
5.
No, 7.
Oh, 7. Yeah, 7. Sorry, I forgot
Yeah,
it's in the third one. Yeah.
very good. We'll count all the electrons present in the third shell. There might be 3s, 3p. Okay. So total
Yeah.
valence electron with chlorine are 7. Now, what is the nearest noble gas configuration to chlorine is argon, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is the atomic number for argon? 18.
It's 18. Yeah.
So what is configuration of argon if we check?
1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6.
Yeah. What is the easiest way for chlorine to become argon?
It gains an electron.
It gained 1 electron. Fine. Now, if sodium is losing electron, like I can also write Na to Na plus electron. Plus electron means sodium atom has lost 1 extra valence electron, this one. Now, this electron will be gained by chlorine atom. Let me write here. Chlorine atom will gain electron, it will change to Cl negative.
Yeah.
Now it has attained negative charge, and negatively charged ions are called anions. Now we have Na plus and Cl negative. Fine. Now, isn't it there will be attraction forces, electrostatic force of attraction?
Yeah.
Electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged ions. So it will exist as Na plus Cl negative. They will attract each other and become NaCl compound. And what type of bonding is there? What is the
Ionic
force
bond.
which is keeping them together? Electrostatic attraction. So we are giving it the name of ionic bonding. Fine.
Yeah.
So one is the like sodium is the metal and chlorine is what? Non-metal. Non-metal which gain electron, metals which lose electron. So ionic
Yeah.
bonding will always be between metals and non-metals. Any doubts?
No, I understand it.
Okay. Any new point or you already know all this?
Well, I didn't know about the valence, but I understand it now. I knew like, you know, all the outer shell and everything. I just didn't know it was called valence
Okay.
shell and valence electrons.
Yeah, in your notebook, there is also electron dot diagrams like this. We'll also study them. It's quite easy, right?
Yeah, cross and dot
Yeah,
diagrams.
cross and dot diagrams. All this is written, which we have just discussed, loss, gain, and all that.
Yeah, I've already read over all of that stuff.
Okay, good. So diagrammatically, it's just another way to show, like I have shown, like in the reaction form in your notebook, they have drawn the diagram like sodium configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. They have shown like this. These first two electrons like this.
Yeah.
Then they have shown 8 electrons like this, 2 and 6, 8, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And third shell, only 1 electron,
Just one.
like
Yeah.
this one. Okay. And for chlorine, again 1s2, then 8. Let us write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5.
Yeah.
Then in the third shell, how many electrons we should show?
7.
I'm just using different color, not using cross. You can use either way, right?
Yeah.
So like transfer. Then here will be positive charge.
Yeah.
Have you emailed your teacher? You were saying last time, I think.
Wait for the topics.
It's very necessary because we have to plan our teaching hours according to that. No?
Yeah. Well, until Christmas, we're finishing till well, for this like break up until Christmas, we do bonding. So I have a test in 2 weeks.
Of bonding?
Yeah, bonding and yeah, just bonding.
What will be the date of your test?
She hasn't given us a full a proper date yet, but she said it's gonna be not. Wait, I think. Right. Let me check my timetable.
No problem. Take your time
Yeah.
and let me know.
Yeah. I think it might be the 10th.
10th December.
Yeah.
A whole bonding chapter?
Yeah, the whole bonding chapter. Well, I've already started revising and I've started doing some practice questions, but it's just like being able to use the proper words in the questions, which I'm struggling a little bit.
Okay, like 1 minute. After different type of bonding, what is electronegativity is there, then different type of forces. Yeah, shapes of molecules. Have you covered the whole chapter in the class?
Yeah, we've covered the whole chapter apart from bonding and physical properties. I missed that lesson because I was sick.
This one?
Yeah, I missed it because I was at home.
Okay, no problem. Macromolecules and Okay. So like these are the practice questions. This type of questions being asked in your test or different?
I think they're a little bit more different because, well, what I do is I just go on websites and go on practice papers and just
Well,
do the questions on that.
level is same or not? Level of questions, I think that will be same. There may be different questions, but level should be same, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be the same.
If you have some sample paper of the questions, you can send me that also.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you understood this clearly?
Yeah, I have.
Then there is also point written called lattice. What do you mean by this lattice?
It's
Like
a giant structure.
NaCl, it will exist on like you can say this is Na plus Cl negative, Na plus Cl negative. It forms like a big molecule, you can say. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is why its melting point is quite high. Melting point high. Like there's a property of ionic compounds. We are just going to study these properties after one more example of ionic bond. The reason of being a melting point high of ionic compounds, one is the electrostatic force of attraction. It is quite strong. And another point, they generally exist in lattices. Lattice like this, you can see the diagram. You will study in detail in your next. There is a chapter called solid state. I don't know it's present in your, like in India, I teach a chapter called solid state. They have in
Yeah.
detail the structure of NaCl. Like you can see in this diagram as well, like orange colored ions, they are shown sodium ions, and green color bigger one are the chloride ions.
Oh,
Cl negative
yeah.
is called chloride ion. We don't call it chlorine ion, chloride ion. Like they exist like one chlorine, sodium, they form a big molecule which we call lattice, right?
Yeah.
And another example which is given in your book is that of magnesium oxide. It's also quite easy. Let us revise it in a minute. Magnesium oxide, it's ionic bonding as well. Can you tell me what is the atomic number of magnesium and what will be its configuration?
Atomic number of magnesium, that'll be, wait, 12. So it has 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2.
Yeah, you are very good at writing configuration. It will be better if you remember the atomic numbers, because they can give an example. If you know the atomic number only, then you can draw the dot cross diagram. Okay. So how it can attain noble gas configuration?
So magnesium, the closest noble gas to magnesium is neon. So it loses 2 electrons.
It loses.
And
yeah. Let us write.
And
so what will be the charge after losing 2 electrons?
So +2.
+2.
And then +2 E minus. Yeah.
What is oxide?
So oxygen, it will gain 2 electrons.
Atomic number of oxygen is
16.
That is atomic
mass. No. Yeah, atomic mass. Sorry. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.
So it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. What are the valence electrons in oxygen?
6.
Yeah, very good. 6. So it wants to attain configuration that of
argon. Oh wait, no, neon. Sorry.
Neon. You can just like it has 6 valence electron, and to become stable it wants to get it 8 electrons, because every inert gas has 8 electron in the valence shell. Do you know this?
Yeah. Say that again. Oh yeah, 8 in every valence shell. Yeah.
Except helium. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. All these are the inert gases. Latest discovered is OG symbol. Leave it. Okay. You can remember up to radon. But first we just remember the first 20 elements. So the simplest concept is all inert gases have 8 valence electrons. 8 valence electron means in their last shell they have 8 electrons, except helium, which has 2 electrons. Now oxygen already having 6 electrons, so to become stable it wants to attain 2 more electrons.
Yeah.
It will be the easiest way for oxygen to become stable. We give it 2 electrons. And what will be the charge on the oxygen?
-2.
-2. O -2 is known as oxide ion. Fine.
Hmm.
Now you have Mg2 positive and O2 negative. So they will start attracting each other. One is the cation and another is the anion.
Yeah.
And they will exist as MgO. Fine. Ionic bonding is there again.
Yeah.
Should I draw
So form
the
a lattice.
mainly NaCl exists in lattice. We can't say it like for every ionic compound. For NaCl, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
We have to study in detail the structure of every compound to check whether it exists in lattice or not. And generally, we can say they have high melting point because of the electrostatic force of attraction. Electrostatic
Yeah.
force of attraction is very strong in nature. We need lot of energy to break the bond.
Hmm.
Okay, like it's written. 1 minute. Properties are there, but can you draw the diagram? Should I draw it or do you know how to draw it?
Yeah, I know how to draw it. Yeah.
It's quite easy if you can also. कर लोगे ना ये ठीक fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine with that. I'm fine at the diagrams. It's just everything else, like all the wording and everything.
Okay. So you please write down the first 20 elements by seeing it on the notebook. Let us practice it.
So hydrogen, helium, lithium, barium,
Beryllium, boron,
boron, nitrogen.
carbon,
Oh, carbon, nitrogen,
nitrogen,
oxygen,
oxygen,
fluorine,
neon,
uh,
sodium,
sodium,
magnesium,
magnesium. Is it silicon?
aluminium.
Oh, aluminium, silicon,
Yeah.
phosphorus,
Yeah.
sulfur,
Sulfur,
chlorine,
chlorine,
argon,
argon.
and then potassium and calcium.
Very good. Very good. Then you have properties of ionic compounds.
Yeah.
So they exist in solid state at room temperature. Why so?
Yeah. Because they have strong electrostatic forces and they have a high melting point.
Very good. Exactly. So the second property is high melting point again due to lattice in some cases, or another reason we can give the high strong electrostatic forces of attraction.
Yeah.
And there is one more point. They can conduct electricity only in liquid or aqueous state.
Yeah.
Not in
solid.
What is the meaning of this point, Ayush?
Because the negative ions or electrons aren't free, the electricity isn't able to pass through the compound. Yeah.
Very good. Like again, you can take example of any ionic compound. Like if we are taking solid NaCl, no doubt the electrostatic forces of attraction are there, but Na positive and Cl negative ions are not free. They are bonded with each other. And to conduct electricity, we want charge carriers. Like in ionic compounds, ions will be the charge carriers. Right?
Yeah.
So if we have liquid NaCl or aqueous, what is the difference between liquid or aqueous?
Aqueous is dissolved in water.
Yeah, very good.
And liquid is melted.
Very nice.
Into liquid form.
Your concepts are quite good. It's need only little brushing up. Like if you melt NaCl, the ions will become free.
Yeah.
Their forces will be broken up. Now they are free. If they are free, they can act as charge carriers and electricity will be passed. And as well as in aqueous state, ions become free. Like if you have a glass of water and you dissolve some NaCl into it, what water does, it's in actually in detail concept is there, concept of hydration is there. We'll discuss on some another day. Like water has a very high, there is a point called property dielectric constant. Water has a dielectric constant.
Yeah.
Water has,
Is
yeah.
Is this when you dissolve the ionic compound into the water? Is it called hydrolysis?
Let me explain. Water has high value of dielectric constant. What is dielectric constant? You can say dielectric constant is a property which helps water to break the bonds between the ionic compounds. Like greater the dielectric constant, more will be the capacity of the solvent to dissolve the ionic compound into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So water has high dielectric constant. That is why it dissolves the ionic compound into it, and it causes its hydration. Like
Hydration.
hydration. If you dissolve NaCl into it, what will happen? Water molecules. Do you know H2O?
Yeah.
They surround Na plus with its oxygen end. This is called hydration. Why oxygen end? Do you know water is a polar solvent?
Yeah.
Polar means
It means it has a unbalanced.
charge separation will be there.
Yeah.
Let me explain. Like there is a concept of electronegativity we will discuss, I think, in next or next to next class. Oxygen, it will be having partial negative charge and hydrogen will be having partial positive charge. Because oxygen electronegativity is more, it will attract this electron. What is the meaning of this line? It has two electrons in it. They will be attracted more toward the oxygen. Similarly, these electrons will also be attracted more towards the oxygen. Oxygen will having partial. Why I have written two? Because of this hydrogen as well as this hydrogen. And on oxygen, there will be two delta negative. This sign is called delta. Delta negative means partial negative charge. It's called partial. Partial negative charge. Partial means not completely, like it has not, charge is not transferred. It has just attracted towards it. Fine. This is called polar solvent. Now water will get surround this Na plus through its oxygen end, because on oxygen there is negative charge and Na is positive, it will surround it. Okay. And what will happen to chloride ions? They will also be surrounded by water, but through which end? Hydrogen end.
The hydrogen, yeah.
Like this. This is called hydration process. That is why when you dissolve NaCl into water, ions will not recombine. There a question can come in our mind like why ions don't recombine, because water form a sheath. Sheath means layer around Na plus and Cl negative, which prevents its recombination and they remain in the dissolved state. Okay.
What's that called? They form a sheet.
Water form sheath around ions. All this is the extra information anyways.
Yeah.
Thus prevents their recombination.
Yeah.
Now, if the ions are free, electricity will get conducted like it's shown diagrammatically in your notebook. I think it's a very nice diagram is there. Like, can you see it? Solid cathode anode, liquid cathode anode. Do you know cathode anode?
Yeah.
Like external electric field is there. The negative end is called cathode and positive end is called anode.
Yeah.
External field, like if we apply external electric field, the negative terminal will be known as cathode and positive terminal will be known as anode. Now, if you have like
Yeah.
free ions like Na plus, free, Cl negative, free, these are all roaming here and there, what will happen? Like cathode is negative, positive ions will get attracted toward
The
cathode
cathode.
and negative ions will get attracted towards anode.
Hmm.
In this way, electricity will be conducted. Fine.
Yeah.
You can also remember there is a short trick. Cathode will attract cations, or you can see cations will get attracted towards cathode. CC, same letter, same alphabet,
Hmm.
and anions get attracted towards anode. Again, same alphabet is there.
Yeah.
Okay. There is one more trick I just remember. Oil rig.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Oxidation is losing
Loss.
and
Yeah.
reduction is gaining. Okay.
Hmm.
Anyways, so first property of any compound solid, they are solid, high melting points, and they will conduct electricity only in the which state? Liquid or aqueous state.
Aqueous. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is the meaning of brittle? Like it's written,
It's able to break easily.
yeah, break easily. What is the reason behind it?
I'm not sure.
Okay. There is a diagram given again in your notebook. I am taking the help of the diagram. It will save our time. Otherwise, we have to draw it. Is it fine?
Yeah.
You can see it. First one. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
This is the ionic compound. Fine. Can you tell me that why this green color ion is bigger and orange color ion is shown smaller?
Because it has a larger electron structure.
Yeah.
It has more
Anions,
shells.
anions are larger, bigger than cations. Why
Yeah.
so? Because
Because
anions have more electrons. Their electron cloud will be more dispersed, you can say. So anions are bigger in size than cations. Right?
yeah.
Now, small displacement. What is the meaning of displacement? Like we are pushing it. Like we are applying some force causes contact between the ions of the same charge. Like you can see the second one. We have like this arrow, you can see we have put some force, like you can see, and negative ions closer to each other, isn't it? This
Yeah.
facing this, there will be repulsion.
Yeah.
So if there will be repulsion, the structure will get shattered down. Shatter means breakdown.
Yeah.
So like this arrow showing one part is going this way, another part is going this way. So we can say like due to the charges, if the same charges face each other, there will be repulsion. It will become the reason of their being brittle.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the properties. Let us discuss these summary questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So first question is identify which of the following are ionic compounds and explain why. So can you tell me out of
So
A, B, C?
so you have B, C. Those two are the only ionic compounds.
Okay. What is the reason? Why not A and D?
Because ionic compound and ionic bonds only form between metals and non-metals, not non-metals and non-metals.
Very good. And oxygen and carbon, both are
Non-metals. So
right.
you can't. Yeah.
So please do one thing. Write the electronic configuration of potassium fluorine later on, and you can send me the pics. It's your homework type. Like
Yeah.
you
Okay,
should
no.
draw the cross dot diagram of potassium fluoride and calcium oxide.
So potassium fluoride and what was the other one?
The C part, calcium oxide. Its name is calcium oxide.
Yeah.
What you need to do, you need to write down the electronic configuration of calcium oxygen and as well as potassium fluorine, and like I have shown like this, no, like 1 minute. Like in potassium, how many electrons it will lose, what will be charged here, how many electrons it will lose. fluorine will gain how many electrons, what will be charge here, and then draw the cross dot diagrams for both.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Second question, I think it's very easy. Explain why ionic compounds have high melting point. You can write down this lattice point and well as the strong electrostatic forces of attraction. Okay.
Yeah.
So like this is the pattern which comes for your paper or what? MCQs are there or theory questions are there?
Pardon?
Do you know MCQs, multiple choice questions?
Oh yeah. We normally have multiple choice questions. Sometimes they're like this, but there's also, these are normally like one markers, 1 or 2 markers.
Okay, so you need to write the explanation as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do one thing on your notebook. You can write the reason for this in your own words. Explain
Yeah.
why ionic compounds have high melting temperatures, and you need to send me your homework.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay. Now third, describe the conditions where ionic compounds conduct electricity. You know very well, fine?
Yeah. As liquid or aqueous.
Yeah. Next is your cross dot diagram to show the following. Ions being formed when magnesium, yeah, it's very interesting. Magnesium and fluorine react and the sodium and oxygen react. Do you know the concept of valency, Ayush? Let me explain.
Say that again.
1 minute. Just read, please read the A part of the fourth question. Ions being formed when magnesium and fluorine react.
Yeah. So it'll be magnesium and fluoride ions.
Magnesium. Let's do this question. Please write down the configuration of magnesium.
So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1.
No, 2.
Oh, 2. Oh, magnesium. Sorry. I thought you said
Sodium.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
magnesium. No problem. So how many electrons will magnesium lose?
It will lose 2.
2. So I should write like this. Okay.
Yeah.
What about fluorine?
The electron configuration.
Yeah.
So would it be 1s2, 2s2, 2p4?
No.
The 2p, wait. Oh, fluorine, 2p5.
Yeah. How many valence electron it has?
7.
7. So will it gain electron or what do you think?
Yeah, it will gain electron.
How many?
Well, it would be 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Because it has already has 7 electron, it will gain 1 electron to have 8 in the outermost shell, isn't it?
Yeah.
So charge will be -1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We'll draw the diagram, but please first tell me what will be the formula. Do you know about the meaning of formula of compounds?
Yeah, I do.
Like formula of
So would it be
NaCl is like this. NaCl means 1 Na, 1 Cl. And we write this NaCl. What will be formula for magnesium and this?
be MgF2?
Very good, very good. How?
Because well, fluorine only has enough space for 1 electron, so it needs 2 fluorine atoms to take both electrons from
Very
magnesium.
good. Very good. There is an easy way of finding the formulas. That is the concept of valency. Have you studied it ever or not?
No.
Okay. Magnesium valency is 2.
Yeah.
Like how many electrons it can take? It can lose 2 electrons. And fluorine valency is 1. We write the symbols and on the, below we write their valencies. Fine. Like I'm just teaching you the method to find the formulas and we cross it.
Yeah.
So formula will be MgF.
Yeah, I understand it. Is that the same for every
Yes.
ionic compound?
Yes.
Okay.
You can make formulas with help of valences. On some day, I will teach you valences in detail. Okay.
No problem.
So, can you draw the diagram as a homework, or should I draw it?
I can draw it.
Then you have to show 2F negative, I think. You know
Yeah.
this, huh? Because like magnesium, suppose I am drawing this way. Fluorine, you need to show 2 because F2 are there, no? Like it will
Yeah.
giving electron to 2. Then you will show like this. Okay.
No problem.
And what is another compound? Sodium oxide? Sodium
Yeah.
and oxygen. You will draw the diagram yourself, but please tell me what will be the formula of the compound of
Will be
sodium and oxygen.
okay. Do you want me to tell you now?
Yeah, I want you to try now.
So would it be Na2O?
Yes, very nice. Sodium valence is 1, oxygen is 2. You can cross it. Formula will be Na2. Its name will be sodium oxide.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fifth question is the same. Give the formula of the compounds formed in question 4.
Yeah. Well, we've done that already, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will send me the homework like serial number wise. First question, second question, third.
Yeah, no
fourth.
problem. I'll write down the numbers.
Then look at the electron arrangement of magnesium ion and oxygen ion. Like what is the name of O2 negative ion, Ayush? Oxide ion.
Oh, oxide ion, yeah.
Oxide ion. State the noble gas they correspond to. What will be the
So
noble?
would it be neon?
Yeah. For both it would be neon. Fine.
Yeah.
So we have covered this ionic bonding. So there is a covalent. Okay. Can you give me any time for tomorrow? Is it possible or only on weekends?
Tomorrow.
Because you
Wait.
have test, no? So we need to cover whole chapter. And the bonding topic is easy, but this forces will take little bit more time. Hydrogen bonding, and your class is also miss structure of ice, shape of molecule. Chapter is not that big, but it needs some time. Only by weekends we can't be able to cover.
Wait, let me check what time I'm available tomorrow. I'm available 1:45. No, 11:45, sorry. So that is so that's 5:15 in your time.
5:15 in the evening, Hana? Okay.
Yeah, for you. For me, it's 11:45.
So you will be in school or at home?
I'll be in school tomorrow.
So let's
okay,
let's do one thing. I'll check my schedule, and if it would be possible, what is the time? 5:15, no?
Yeah, 5:15 in India for you.
5:15 in the evening. 5:15.
Well, I'm free for 11:45 and onwards. I'm free for the whole day after that.
Okay, it's fine then. We can also arrange at the 8 to 9 in the Indian time, huh?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Wait, let me check what time that is because
I'm not sure. 1 minute. I'll message you the timing after any time after 5:15. No?
Yeah, no problem.
Before 10, like 10 in the. I'm talking according to the Indian time. Okay.
Yeah.
So
no problem.
I will arrange 1 hour between 5:15 to 10 or 11. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll message you the timings. I think you will check your WhatsApp. Is it fine?
Yeah, I'll check my WhatsApp. Yeah, I always check my messages.
So should I send the recording or is it necessary?
No, I understand everything from here. I already took down all the notes. If you want, you can send, but I don't think I need.
They are almost same as your notebook, but extra points I just told you I have not written that. Okay. I
Yeah,
think there is no
that's-
need. You just do your homework and send it to me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, bye bye.
I'll see you next time then. Bye.
Okay, bye.